hosted by Sumpah Pemuda School of Law. This event can be done due to the support and effort of all concerned. Therefore, I say thank you to all the organizers who have worked to carry out this activity. I, as a committee organizer, apologize if there are flaws in the execution of this event, because like our Indonesian people, because we realize there is no ivory, there is no crack. Tak ada gading yang tak retak. Okay, attendance who we respect. Finally, I apologize if my forward in there that is less acceptable or have forgotten. I finish off my own. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, success for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. The opening speech from Chairman Sumpah Pemuda School of Law, Palembang, Mr. Associate Professor Dr. Haji Firman Predibusro, SH MHum Siti Al, and also opening International Conference on Legal Study.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and greeting for all the participants and the presenter, especially the honorable speaker for today, my dear friend, Associate Prof. Soni Zulhuda and Dr. Ahmad. It's so have a nice day to have you here to speak and to become a speaker in international conference is organized by the Stifada and the co-host, and especially Goodwood Conference. We have to always thanks to Allah. Let us always praise the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who always bestow His grace, taufiq, hidayah, and inayah on all of us. Salawat and greeting, let us pour out our great Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, along with his friend and relative, because only with grace and guidance the International Conference on Legal Study event was well organized. This International Conference on Legal Study discussed justice in cyber world against the evolution of cybercrime. So as we know that the topic is very actual for this day. As we all know, the era of digitalization has greatly influenced the world law development. The influence of the digitalization era has had a very positive effect in a development of all areas of people's lives. Still, on the other hand, it also caused negative impact, such as cybercrime. Therefore, the role of legal academic is very much needed in addressing this matter. The part of academic is huge in accommodating in change that occur and can provide good idea and the thought it to answer the future challenges. It is hoped that today's event can answer or provide idea for the current digitalization era, especially legal development related to this digitalization era. Finally, this event can benefit all of us, especially in developing law benefit society. And for today, I announce that the International Conference on Legal Study, Justice in Cyber World Against the Evolution of Cyber is officially open. And right now we have to deliver our material and our speak to this topic. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir. Now we come to the event of the International Conference on Legal Study with the topic Justice in Cyber World Against the Evolution of Cybercrime, which will be gathered by Mrs. Dr. Diri Angling Kusuma, SH MHum. Time is yours.
Memasuki acara inti, seminar internasional dengan tema Justice in Cyber World Against the Evolution of Cybercrime yang akan dipandu oleh moderator kita, Ibu Dr. Dery Angling Kusuma, SHMH. Kepada Ibu kami persilakan.
These circumstances is full of happiness. Once again, welcome to our campus, Sumpah Pemuda School of Law, for all of the participants in international conference. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Dery Angling Kusuma, SHMH. I am as a moderator for today, and then I hope that our greeting for today is coming well. In front of us, in our circumstances, there are 3 best speakers. I hope Mr. Dr. Muhsin Dali is in around us, but maybe there are different 4 times between Indonesia and Arab Saudi. And then maybe for today, it is 5:30 in Arab Saudi. So maybe he will become around us for an hour later. And in front of us, there are 2 speakers. Welcome to our Dean of Sumpah Pemuda School of Law, Mr. Associate Professor Dr. Haji Firman Friadi Busro, SHMH CTL. And then the second best speaker for today, there is Associate Professor Sony Zulhuda, LLB, Hans MCL PhD, and then he came from University Islamic International, Malaysia. Good morning, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Maybe you can open your camera, because I see that you are in a Zoom meeting, but your camera is off, and then you mute your voice. Can we talk with you, mister? Okay. And then the second, the best speaker is Dr. Muhsin Dali. He came from Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and he is a Prince Sultan University. In my hand, there are curriculum vitae of the 3 best speakers. The first is we have Associate Professor Dr. Haji Firman Friadi Busro. As we know that he is a chairman of Sumpah Pemuda School of Law, and then he has so many books in law. If I see in his curriculum vitae from 2012, he made a lot of books. And then if we read all of the books, maybe we can stop our international conference at 6 at the evening. So many books of him. And then he is get the predicate cum laude for the first, for the second, and for the third strata. And then his title for today, he made with his wife and his beautiful daughter. They combined their ability to make a special topic for today. And then the topic, excuse me, the topic is the responsibility of the online marketplace to protect consumer data privacy in a commerce transaction. And then if I see for Mr. Prof. Sony Zulhuda, he will translate, or he will give our knowledge about justice in the cyber world with the topic cyberspace and the social legal challenges of datafication. And then for the Dr. Muhammad Ali, Dr. Muhsin Ali, I'm so sorry, for Dr. Muhsin Ali, His topic is about global AI strategy for the cybercrimes. So for the first presenter today, I would like to give the time for Associate Professor Dr. Haji Firman Freddy Busro, not more than 15 minutes. Yeah. And not more than 15 minutes, we will hear what he will to say about us, justice in cyber world against the evolution of cybercrimes, how to protect us as a consumer. Okay, this time is for you, sir.
Okay, thank you for the introduction from the Mrs. Derry as become a moderator for today event. So, hello everyone. Good morning for everyone. Greeting for all the participants and all the presenter. It's very great day to have a conversation. What we topic for today, the international conference, is we're talking about the cyber world. As we know, our life right now is kind of separated from apart from the cyber. When we are wake up and for the sleep, we are always connected to our gadget and to the cyber world. For today, I'm going to talk about the responsibility of the online marketplace to protect consumer data privacy in an e-commerce transaction. As we know, that is the main issue of the consumer data privacy. So in Indonesia, we have the law number 27 year 2022 just came out in October 2022. So let's begin. So it's a large number of the internet user in Indonesia. So a significant market potential that will affect the emergence of various new business opportunity. Can you display the? Can you share screen, please? Okay. Okay. Not this one. Okay, may I continue? Okay, but it is still running. Yeah? Yeah, there are some. Can you display? Can you? Yeah. So okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Please play the slideshow, please. Slideshow. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So in other hand, in other hands, the first page first. The first page. The first. Yes. Okay. On the other hand, several things need to be considered in online shopping activities. As we know, we can right now we connected to the all activity from the virtual, such as online marketing, and then maybe transaction, education, all of it. So we cannot separate from the virtual world. So the issue of the protecting personal data online consumption become the main point. Whereas in online activities, personal data is one of the essential things, especially concerning the payment method, marketing, and offer. Can you the second page? Yes, thank you. Today's issue has indeed the result of the vulnerability of the protection of privacy rights on each online consumer. In various countries, the issue related to privacy and regulation regarding privacy have begun to develop as an integral part of the social development of their society. Personally, the United Nations Human Rights Council has adopted Resolution 98 197 on protecting the right to privacy in the digital age. Several cases that have emerged, especially those related to the legal age of someone data. So, as you know, you maybe hear about the Bojorka leaks the data today. It's very main issue right now. It's very actual issue that the government must be facing today, which have resulted the fraudulent action have strengthened to discourse on the urgency of enhancing the protection of the right to privacy. So the issue is the issue please show okay. The issue is how are online consumer privacy settings in the online marketplace system? And the second is how to protect the privacy and the personal data in online marketplace system. Okay. Now, next. Okay. Now, can make several comparative law, yeah, and the comparative law regulation from Indonesia, several country. In Indonesia has generally legal regulation governing privacy policy in the online marketplace system, which is contained in the law number 11 of 2008 concerning information and electronic transaction and government regulation number 82 of 2012 concerning the implementation of electronic system and transaction. One of the lead sector of the government of Indonesia that handle e-commerce is the Ministry of Communication and Information of the two legal regulation. But right now, as you know, Indonesia have law privacy that protection privacy data is a law number 27 of 2022. His came out about the October. So the information data, as we know, in Indonesia must be regulated and registration the data collection program for the e-commerce through a series of profiling and the report data process. This is to prevent consumer from being scammed by irresponsible people. Next. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the European Union and United States. In several countries, especially in member countries of the European Union and the United States, were established conditions for e-commerce mechanism privacy policy in the online marketplace system has been set forth in various legal regulations, both in terms of international law, regional levels such as European Union directive, as well as in national legislation. In European Union, the privacy policy in the online marketplace system is regulated in Article 7, European Union Directive on e-commerce. It is regulated more specifically in Article 5 in 3 of the Privacy and Electronic Communication Directive 2002. Apart from being applicable at the EU and European Union regional level, various regulations relating to the privacy policy in the online marketplace system are also applied in the national legal profession of several countries in the European Union. Not all European Union countries, but will be discussed in this discussion. And the discussion is devoted to countries that have been established in making privacy policy in online marketplace system. These countries such as France, Germany, and the United Kingdom. Okay, next. Now we take a look at the France. For the French state, it is that within the legal regulation in 1978 is more earlier. Article 1 states computer must be at the service of its citizens. Their development must occur in the framework of international cooperation. It must cause no damage or loss to either human identity, human rights, right to privacy, or to public and individual liberties. The legal regulation implicitly states that the French government guarantees the use of computer technology, especially the internet, in accordance with international legal mechanisms, both applicable at the regional level at the European Union and international, and without violating human rights, privacy rights, and individual freedom. Now, let's go to the United Kingdom. So in United Kingdom and England, the United Kingdom consisting of the England, Wales and Ireland have legal regulation relating to the data privacy. This is stated in the Data Protection Act 1998, which is content provision regarding personal information in national legal regulation regulated under English law or the common law. So, how to protect the privacy and the personal data in the online marketplace system? Its benefit achieved in setting privacy policy in e-commerce if is carried out and adhered to properly by the both parties, namely or A, increase the sense of the security, trust between online consumer and e-commerce providers. And B, protection of privacy rights of online consumer in e-commerce activity carry out. C, creating a healthy business competition climate in every electronic transaction activity. D, there is an appropriate legal solution as agreed in the privacy policy if online consumer violate their privacy rights in the future. So, in other hand, to protect the privacy right, so not to be violated by e-commerce provider or online marketplace system provider, it is possible legal remedies to be accessed by the online consumer regulated by the international legal mechanism. The mechanism for resolving the dispute related to e-commerce, such as I call the Online Dispute Resolution, ODR. ODR tries to synergize between the settlement outside the judiciary and approach that are in accordance with IT rules, information technology rules, and the legal remedy are development that are raised today. So, what I call is legal remedy that online consumer can take regarding privacy data violation can be seen from the two processes, the education process or the litigation and arbitration, and the consensus process, mediation and negotiation. In addition, related to the law available for victim or of violating of privacy rights following Indonesian legal regulation based on law number 18 of 2008 concerning ITE or maybe information technology transaction, government regulation number 82 of 2012 regarding PST, they can file a civil lawsuit for damage, meaning that the legal mechanism for demanding compensation for the online user to the e-commerce has only recently become available. A tool for seeking civil compensation is available, even though this privacy data, while is broad and not limited to pure civil matters, it is necessary to have more specific legal regulation and expand the legal remedies for consumers whose privacy rights are violated. So, that's my presentation. My presentation for today, and I'm very concerned about the responsibility of the online marketplace, especially about the protecting data, because we know that the data protecting is very main issue that must be protected, and all the violating the consumer data is must be handled and take care by the government. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Big applause to our first speaker for today. Thank you very much for Mr. Associate Professor Dr. Haji Firman Friadi Busro. And then we can make a conclusion of his topic, how to protect the privacy and personal data in the online marketplace system. There are four, if I'm not mistaken, there are four to protect our privacy. For number one, to increase the sense of security and trust between online consumers and e-commerce provider. And then the second is protection of privacy rights for online consumers in e-commerce activities carried out. And then the third is creating a healthy business competition climate in every electronic transaction activity. And the last one is there is an appropriate legal solution as agreed in the privacy policy if online consumer violate their privacy rights in the future. Once again, big applause to our first speaker. Thank you very much, sir. And then for the time being, there is the time for the second speaker today. Is there Mr. Sony Zulhuda LLB Hans MCL PhD? Can we see you on Zoom, sir? If we see in Zoom, you are in our meeting, but your camera is still off. Mr. Associate Professor Sony Zulhuda LLB MCL PhD, are you here, sir? Wait a minute, for the participant today, we are waiting for our second best speaker. Ada Prof. Sony di sini. Mana? Excuse me, be patient for another participant. We are still waiting for our second speaker, Associate Professor Sony Zulhuda LLB, MCL PhD. He came from Malaysia, Islamic University of Malaysia. Maybe there is something trouble for the internet.
Iya caknya Be. Iya caknya. Iya caknya. Iya caknya nak bikin apa? Baju. Itu. Fotonya lah masuk di grup belum? Foto kemarin. Belum ada? Oh ini ya.
Welcome to Dr. Muhammad Dali, PhD. As a Prince of Arab, you are in our Zoom for today.
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. This is the time for Mr. Associate Dr. Soni Zulhuda first, and then after that, this is the time for yours.
So I think he will be talking last.
So this is the time for yours, sir.
Okay.
Or you wanna last? Or you wanna last?
No problem. I can talk now because
You
I
wanna
think
talk for now? Okay.
Yes. So
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our participant in international conference for today, the second best speaker, Mr. Soni, Mr. Associate Professor Dr. Soni Zulhuda.
Yes, I'm
are
here.
you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Which one? Where is your camera?
Can't you see me? I'm here.
Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so maybe for the second is we have Associate Professor Soni Zulhuda, and then after that maybe Dr. Muhsin Dali will presentate his presentation. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in our international conference, our second speaker is Associate Professor Soni Zulhuda, LLB Hans MCL PhD. He came from Malaysia, International Islamic University, and he is as a Law and Technology, Information Governance, Data Protection Law. His education, he got PhD, International Islamic University, Malaysia for 2010, wrote a doctoral thesis on legal framework for information security in Malaysia. He got Master of Comparative Law for 2002, wrote a dissertation on personal data protection in cyberspace, and then Bachelor of Laws, LLB Honors, EUM for 2000. And then he got so many training, and then he is a trainer, and then fellowship, he got so many fellowship here. Maybe we don't have so many times to tell or to write about his fellowship. And then for our best moment here, he will talk about cybercrime. Maybe not more than 15 minutes, sir. You have time to share your slide share, and then you are a co-host for today, is that right? So he can share by himself. You can share by yourself, sir. Your topic for today. This is the time for you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just to check whether you are able to see my screen now.
Yes, sir. Yes, we can see your slide share.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wa bihi nasta'in ala umurid dunya waddin. Salatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi washabihi ajmain wa ba'du. First of all, I'd like to thank Stipada Law School for having me. This is a great honor for me to be here again, though it is online rather than offline. I have been in the campus for a few times, and I have a great pleasure to have an acquaintance with the principal and lecturers, professors of the law school, ada Pak Firman, Ibu Dr. Jawaria, ya, Ibu Dr. Fitria, Ibu Dr. Erleni, Ibu Dr. Dery, so many of good acquaintance and friends to me. As a matter of fact, between IIUM and Stipada, there had been good relationship and collaborations. Our students had also visited Palembang, and they are very happy. I can tell you they wish to come again, and hopefully we can do similar program again in future. It was, of course, interrupted with the pandemic that we could not see more often in the past. So with this occasion, I hope our collaboration will continue and become better and stronger in the near future. So I'd like to thank again for having me, for sharing this topic. Yeah, let me just do a quick check. Is my voice well heard and well audible or not?
Yes, your sound is good, sir.
Very good. Yeah, thank you so much. So in this occasion, I have a pleasure to share with you some issues based on my recent works and research as well on various legal concerns relating to cyber world. So we have this big theme of this of today's program, of today's event, which is justice in the cyber world against the evolution of cybercrime. But I have a subtopic here, as you see. The subtopic is about cyberspace and the socio-legal challenges of datafication. So there are three things in this presentation. First is the nature of the cyberspace itself, which used to be alien, but now so much part and integral to our life. Yeah. And then we will look into the inside of this cyber world. What makes the cyberspace so powerful as it is today is actually about due to the proliferation of data. Yeah? Proliferation of data, the use of data, the massive reliance of us on data from time to time in our life. In whatever we do, we are processing data, we are creating data, we are sharing data, and in fact, we're exploiting data. So this is what we call as datafication. So from there, after cyberspace and datafication, then we see the socio-legal challenges of this. So this is basically the step-by-step presentation that I'm going to have. Datafication in cyberspace, unintended consequences, emerging legal issues, emerging laws, and what is there for Indonesia. We will see quickly how things will improve. So if you remember this movie, I don't know if people of of different age, but people of my age would remember this movie when we were younger. I know what you did last summer. I don't know if Pak Firman has also watched this. I believe so, because we are not so different in terms of age. Yeah, I remember these movies were very popular. Yeah, at that time, it was a thriller. It was also at the same time, of course, a very popular thrillers. They come with 3 series. So after the success of the first thriller, I Know What You Did Last Summer, then came the next one, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and then came the third one, I Will Always Know What You Did Last Summer. So this is interesting because it shows you the relevance of time and the fact that your background has never gone. Yeah, people will remember what happens. People remember what you did in the past. Yeah, because from this thriller, the actors in this thriller were actually being scared because they were involved in a crime in the past, and somebody knows about that. Even though they tried to hide, they tried to hide the crime, the criminal acts that they committed, but somebody still know what happened. So this gave us idea that it is not very easy, for you to cover your past, especially if the data is already leaked somewhere. And then for Malaysia, there is also a Malaysian version, for this. The Malaysian version is not a thriller, but rather is a comedy. The title is I Know What You Did Last Raya. Raya means last Lebaran. I Know What You Did Last Lebaran. So similarly, it is of course inspired with this movie. Actually, the message is that, among others, of course, the message is that you may not be able to bury your past completely. You try to change and then hide your past, but unfortunately, not everything can be covered easily. Okay, but now what I want to take you is we are not only worried that people know about your past, yeah. As a matter of fact, people does not only know of your past, but they also know of what you are doing at present. And most scarily, people would also be able to know what you will be doing, yeah, in future, yeah. So as a matter of fact, this is something not very difficult to understand.
Yes.
Yeah, anymore. It's not very different. It's not very difficult to understand, because there are people out there who already hold our data. Yeah, they already hold our data in all matters of life. Yeah, basically from our data about our life, our work, yeah, our businesses, about our activities. So because of this data being abundant and it's being available everywhere and there, so it will not be surprising that there are people around you who will tell you that I know what you did last summer, but I also, not only that, I also know what you are doing, and I also know what you will be doing, yeah, in future. So this is of course more scary than ever. Yeah, this is more scary and this is more worrying than ever. You can imagine that somebody will be able to predict, yeah, what you're going to do, where you're going to go, what you're going to be in future, and this is all getting more predicted because of the proliferation, because of the abundance of the data that we have shared. So where are this data from? Because this data has been there for so long. The more you live, the more you're actually sharing the data. We are talking about so much type of data, but what is more worrying is actually about the data of your personal life. Yeah. People, when we talk about data, what kind of data you want to protect? First thing is about data of your life, yeah, about your life, about your safety, because it's about your safety. It's about whether you can live easily and can live in safety and so on, and in peace. So data about your personal life is very, very valuable. Other than that is, of course, data about your business, data about your people around you, data about your employers, about companies, and so on and so forth. So all this data come together, and they make such a big thing that it is almost impossible to actually have control completely on that. This is what we call as big data. So when we talk about big data, where does it come from? So this data comes from through all this process, yeah, of life, yeah. Data, because datafication comes from a variety of activities. Let me just show you next. Data comes from so many people who collect and produce your data. Yeah, it may be yourself, but as long as it is yourself, it shouldn't be worried, because you have the control over your own data. But remember, there are always people out there who keep on creating data about yourself. Not only creating, searching, trying to find your data, and then recreating your data using other methods, as well as with other data, and then that creates another product. For example, they want to profile about you, so they need to know what kind of web browser you are. If you are the one who always sit in front of computer for more than, for example, 5 hours a day, then you are considered as their favorite, target for advertisement, for example. So they are trying to profile you. So who are doing this? There are people out there like companies, state actors, government. Yeah? Don't forget, government also collect data, yeah, about us. Then civil actors such as social media users, and all of us are on social media. All of us have some social media accounts, and that is where we collect data, we share data, and we also combine data. Yeah. That even includes journalists, hackers, researchers, terrorists. Each of these people, they collect data. Then there are social quantifiers, including software, hardware, data brokers, who by profession, they collect data. Yeah. Or any dangerous combination. Yeah. For example, the businesses who collect data, or the governments who collect data about their citizens, or the terrorists who are trying to collect data for their criminal activities and so on. So this is how it goes. And this is to illustrate to you how data are being collected from time to time. As you see here from your travel, from your travel activities, from your ID cards, from the previous pandemic measures, data are being collected about you. And then from your traffic data, because the authorities collect data from traffic. So your trip, your vehicles, and your behaviors on the road are being collected. And then for our children, the past 2 or 3 years in the pandemic, we have been pushing them for online learning. Therefore, lots of data actually being derived from these online learning activities. And not to forget our shopping activities and payment activities, where we use data more than before, much more than before, and so on. Just for example, perhaps most of us are using one of these service called Google. The Google provide you everything from your email communications, search, and then everything are being collected and combined by them. So it's very understandably. It is very understandably that Google is among the most powerful companies or entities. Because they collect data.
Oh, UIIT, Universitas.
Yes. So I appreciate if the participants can keep themselves muted, and perhaps the host can help for that. So why is datafication a trend now? Because it is powered by technologies. The more technology now we have, everyone talk about computers, cloud, AI, mobile technology, social media, blockchain, digital money, e-money, e-purse, and so on. All this actually, on one hand, they help our life, but at the same time, they keep on collecting data, which we thought should be okay. But at the end, we realized there is something that we have to be very worried about. So predictive analysis, because of the data already available, so people can make predictive analysis against us. Sometimes it is for us, but sometimes also it's against us. Either in retail, in healthcare, social media, politics, they know what you're going to vote, for example. So since they know what you're going to vote, they are able to actually dictate, and they're also able to cooperate with any politicians, for example, in order to combine or to make use of the data travel. And this is already proven when we saw how President Donald Trump was elected in the US, and it was revealed that he was using so much of the predictive analysis data by way of social media. Then also it can be used for crime prevention, which is good for legal world, for legal sectors. But at the same time, it will bring about some risk, especially in situation where there is, mistake, there is bias by the technologies and so on. So as you see, also they are being used in travel, fashion, insurance, and sport. But now we come to one of the tricky issues. Who actually owns the data? So much data already being collected and being used and misused and abused and also multiple use. Now the question goes back to the very bottom of it. Who actually owns the data? This is something that research can be done, I think more thoroughly. Who actually owns the data? Because when we talk about ownership, data ownership, if it is my data, then you are not able to use. You should not be able to use it, because this is the concept of ownership and property. So now the question is actually who owns the data? Maybe we can go and this is something unsettled. Of course, the law has not really answered this question, and also for us, I think law researchers, we have to go further and look to this. We, of course, when there are some government data, we understand government will own it, but then there are trade secrets of companies, and then business information, and then personal data. Personal data by right, it belongs to the person itself. But when the personal data is already processed by certain parties, so is it actually co-owned by between the subject and the users, or is it only licensed, or is it only given for specific purpose? So all these things need to be highlighted. Also, what about public information? We have been collecting data and we say, oh, this is already a public domain. But then we realized sometimes those things which are in the public domain are not necessarily a public data. Maybe it is a data which is being leaked. For example, if you have my data or data of students, data of other students being leaked, for example, and they are put on the internet, does it make the data belong to public? Not necessarily, because it is a wrong. Because someone already leaked the data and shared to the public does not mean that it becomes a public data. Yeah, it is still a private data. So attempts by legal and regulatory schemes had been there, but of course to not a very satisfactory situation. We have, for example, freedom of information law in Indonesia, Malaysia, in some states we have. Then official secrets law, intellectual property law, confidentiality law, and data protection law. Each of these, they actually contribute in trying to define and put the border who owns the data. So this is a very important challenges in future when you talk about cyberspace. Data already there, but not everything actually owned by public. So we need to look at this. For example, official secret. In Malaysia, we have Official Secret Act. If the data is leaked to the internet, for example, it remains official secret. So somebody who shared the data will be prosecuted under the Official Secret Law. So that's what we mean. But if that is quite straightforward. But what really is very crucial is when your personal data is being owned or being used by a third party, and this third party is shared to another third party, and then it starts to blur, the boundary of the data, who owns the data. So this is something I think that will occupy us, legal researchers and professors, to look into this and research on this area. As we mentioned, because of that, we have some unintended consequences of datafication. As we mentioned here, whose data is it, public or private, passing off? Yeah, meaning data now it's blurred. Whose data is this? If it is not yours, then you are not supposed to use it. If you will still use it, then it can be a crime or maybe civil offenses. Then data which come with monetary motives, because people want to use data in order to make gains, to make for example, people trick you and try to send you an email or send you a WhatsApp message. Click this in order to get bonus, for example, or click this in order to get discount for your electricity bill. And then when you click, it goes to another fishy website, and then they're actually trying to collect your data wrongly. So this is what I say as unintended consequences, because the data are already so valuable and so easily being obtained, and people start to misuse the data and argue a lot of with a lot of things and try to make gain. Make gain. Let me just now show you. This is what Andrew Keen, one of the writers, social writers, and he said, internet is not the answer. So much of the beauty of the internet we have seen, but internet is not really the answer. It gives you so much problem and headaches. And I think we in law faculty have to be at the forefront and showing to the community what kind of headache we can have when internet is let free. Internet should not be let free, because it is not a value-free medium. We also have to try to direct the internet to the best best use of people and community. Then we have also this work by Professor Lawrence Lessig, trying to give us a very good understanding of what cyberspace is, because so many people actually thought that cyberspace is a lawless space. Cyberspace is freedom to innovate, freedom to use data, freedom to defame people, freedom to attack people, hack people. Why? Because this is a cyberspace after all. It is not a real space. So this is all. There are so many misunderstanding, either intentional or unintentional. So Professor Lawrence Lessig, in his book, very beautiful work in Law of the Horse, which then being put in the book of the Code in 1999. He wrote about the misunderstanding of cyberspace, and he actually very strongly say that, look, cyberspace is just like any other medium. It should be subject to regulations, because we all live in it. We are inseparable. Therefore, whatever is wrong outside there, should also be wrong in the cyberspace. We cannot have a dichotomy between the two, right? So we also have, I highlight to you some resistance, why people think datafication is very dangerous. You can see here, it is a colonial process because people, it is actually showing you how capitalism works. People with more capital, more data will colonize, will actually control the others who have less data. So now it's the economy today is between data rich and data poor. Yeah, the data rich people will have more control and power. So we need to democratize the data. We need to make sure people have a similar level playing field, so everyone can make use of their own data of their own way. There are a few issues here, but you can see first it is a colonial process. It overtakes human autonomy. You know, because of the data. Then if we all have been following a World Cup, yeah, in Qatar, right? Maybe I don't know about World Cup, but I used to also follow other leagues, yeah, football league in the Europe. They have been using so much of this video assisted reference, yeah, video assisted reference or VAR. So you can imagine if somebody, for example, Lionel Messi or Ronaldo, you know, score a goal and which seems to be a very valid and genuine goal, and the whole people in the stadium were raising and celebrating, only to find few seconds after that the goal was invalidated because it is offside, for example. Why is that? Because of the use of the technology, and this is what we call as the use of datafication, because they try to get as much data as possible to find to know actually exactly whether it was a valid goal or not. If you remember in the past, we never had this kind of situation. You know, when you see it is a good goal, then everyone will celebrate and it will be considered as a goal. But now, because of the data, then you will realize that our life might get more complicated. You know, I'm trying to show, of course, I'm not saying it is all bad about VAR, but I'm trying to show you these are the situations where the more data you have, maybe it will make your life more complicated. You know, so we have to take a balance between the two. We have to draw the balance where the balance is, and we try to see if law and regulations can do that. It can be used to discriminate others, and it is prone to mistake. You know, after all, it is a technology. You have every technology has a mistake and failure and so on. It's a new stage of surveillance capitalism, as I said earlier, because people make use of your data and then they try to profile you and then make you as a target of their businesses. So it is all about making money. And at the end, also, it may threaten human rights and privacy. I will show you some example, and prone to abuse, yeah? I'll show you some example. You see here, this lady, this little girl, not really little, 16-year-old from Malaysia. She had unfortunately come to decided to kill herself by jumping, yeah, from her apartment, yeah, and she died immediately. Why? What happened before that? She decided to jump after, because she was at the time she was depressed. She had some problems, you know, and she thought that her friends on Instagram can give her a good, you know, answer and a good solution. So what she was instead trying to do is she created a polling, yeah, and for her Instagram friends to choose for her between D and L. What is D? D is death, L is life. So she asked people to choose for her. You can imagine that she asked people on Instagram to choose for her whether she is today or whether she is to continue living. And to some extent, somehow, you know, the death got more voters. Then she decided to jump. You see how is it related? Of course, we are not saying it is all about the internet, because maybe the girl has her own problem. Maybe her problem relates to her families, to friends, or maybe relates to the internet as well. We never know. But the fact that she decided to take her life after this kind of internet enabled processing, it is very pitiful. Yeah. So the internet has made that room or space for people to come and decide whether to take life or not. That is something for us. So what can we do? What the law should do? The law should not be blinded on this, and regulators and government should take some proactive role. We don't want this happen in Malaysia, yeah, by the way, not very far from Indonesia. So we have to make sure that our kids are not so freely exposed to this kind of harms in the internet. We need to make sure the laws that we have are efficient to actually prevent this kind of harms on the internet, and get people who actually pose harm to be prosecuted or to be taken into action, and at the same time to give our kids, our families, enough understanding and awareness that when you are depressed, when you have problem, don't go to the Instagram. Don't go to Instagram. Find Ustad, for example. Get to counselors. Get to counselors. But now this is happening. When you want to find guidance, you go to Google and then give me guidance. Right? Give me the guidance. Then you ask questions. You can have questions there and get your questions answered. But remember, these are artificial. I mean, it is not necessarily directing the answer for your problem. It is not. So it is always still very important to look for the real people, real person. Try to look into you personally and see what kind of advice to be given. That is, of course, the best way to do, rather than asking your friends whether I should leave, I should go. Sometimes we also ask I saw my friends going to a Facebook showing to set of a dress. I'm going to have a party tomorrow. Should I go this one or this one? Please give me ideas. It's okay. It's for some fun purpose. It's okay. For example, Pak Firman wants to produce another book. So he has these two set of book cover designs. So should I go for the A or for B? Then people will give you, ideas. That is okay. That's good. But to go to social media and ask people, should I continue life or should I actually die? Of course, this is beyond imagination. But this thing is happening, unfortunately. Also, same thing. I took from this English teenager. She also decided to take her own life after being so much exposed to the Instagram. We didn't know what the detail is, but the fact is that she actually highlighted what she wanted to do, and she said she wanted to die, and so on and so forth. So you see, while social media can be a harmful medium for people, for vulnerable people like this, but it can also be useful for others to get the early warning. If we see some people start to post fishy postings on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, and on Facebook, then maybe it is time for the friends to take action to stop things from happening. Okay, these are among the situations and examples where data verification failed because of the failure of algorithm. Let me just now go to this one. Very handsome young man. Ross Ulbricht, not only handsome, he is also very dedicated. He's very enthusiastic. He had good obsession, and he is also smart. So he created this website, but this website you cannot find on Google on the internet because it is on the dark web. You need to use a specific browser and application in order to reach this Silk Road website. However, you don't try to get now because it's already closed down by the authority, by the FBI. What happened is that this Mr. Ulrich, he provided this website for people to trade everything on earth, especially those which are illegal. You imagine, go to specific platforms which are very famous today, like Amazon, like Lazada, like Shopee and everything, and you want to trade, either you want to buy or you want to purchase or you want to sell. But of course, you are not going to find somebody who is selling cannabis, selling marijuana, ganja, and everything. Of course, it is not allowed. But in this Silk Road platform, Ross Ulbricht make it possible for everyone to buy and to sell everything, which is illegal. As you see here, drugs, and then digital goods, and then credit cards, and even porn materials, and so on. So FBI had been trying to hunt him down, and at the end they managed managed to get him. So Ross Ulbricht with his because he thought internet should allow us to innovate, and make use, and then make money. So he made money. He did make money at the age of 29. He is a very billionaire already. But then after what happened in the age of 31, he was put to life imprisonment. He was arrested. He was prosecuted. He was found guilty because of this. So what we can take from this is that, you see, internet is not giving you this kind of freedom.
Excuse
Of course,
me, sir.
internet.
Yeah,
Yes.
Your
How
time
many
will
more
be
minutes?
over. Yeah. Your time
Yeah.
will be
Okay.
over, sir.
Okay, can I take 1 or 2 minutes? Yeah,
Okay,
after this.
thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So what I have come here is that I show you how things work in the internet. Not everything is nice, because people may have a lot of misunderstanding about the internet, and they thought that they can be free and can innovate everything. And this is one of the example. And the youth, our youth, can do that because they have so much, obsession, so much ideas, and then knowledge and skills. So what we need to do is that to tell them from the very beginning, look, cyberspace is just like our space. It is not a space for you to simply innovate and get free, as if you can do anything that you cannot do in the normal space. So this is, I think, what we need, a very important message that we have to inform them. Okay, I have another story from Japan, but I'm going to skip this. Very quickly, I want to show you how things in Indonesia. We have so many issues of data breach. Our data, personal data, being misused by people. You see here lots of this brand that are very, I think you are familiar to them. And each of these, they already have these problems of data breach. So it's a big worry for us, because the data will be utilized and perhaps misused by other people. So this is something, and good thing about it is that, of course, Indonesia had recently passed the law on personal data protection, Nomor 27 tahun 2022. So I think we have to dig further and do more research and more awareness to people about this law, personal data protection in Indonesia. So I think my last part is how to do that. I think I mentioned to you, we have to educate people. Of course, opting out is not an option. Opting in is an option, but of course we have to opt in smart, meaning we take it smart. We take things that we have to do. Reset the value. We need to reset the value. Internalize the data culture. Look, internet is not there, for you to do whatever you want. Internet is there actually to help people's life. No online offline dichotomy. Whatever is not good offline also is not good online. Whatever is illegal on offline is also illegal online. This is something that they have to internalize, not only with us but also our children, because they start to use the internet from a very early childhood. Value led, because internet is not value free innovation. Data must be shared with trust. We interact with respect. And then also there must be fair information practices. All right. So this is among the key takeaway. And last slide. Also, I'd like to share with you the Declaration of Principles of Building the Information Society that was shared in the World Summit of the Information Society 2003-2005 by ITU, International Telecommunication Union. So these are actually the guiding principles. It's about respect people, about valuing our freedom, but of course at the same time respecting people's rights, equality, solidarity, and so on. So you can do more reading on this, but I think the principles are very clear about respect life, about being value-led, and so on. If we are Muslim, for example, try to dig what Quran says about internet, what Quran says about sharing data, because they are there. From people from different religions, different customs and tradition, we try to dig our values from there. Indonesians, of course, we have our own national values. We try to value ke nilai-nilai Pancasila, nilai-nilai kemanusiaan dan seterusnya, and all this will have to be internalized. Then we know what to do when we are online, and rather than being a different person. That is all. I think, okay, this is one from Quranic perspective, which I highlighted to you. Yes, Allah makes it as amanah. When you have data, when you have internet, it is an amanah. It is a trust for you to make use, the best use of it, yeah, rather than misusing it. This is my references. And that's it. Thank you so much for having me again. Thank you for attending to this presentation. And should there be any question, I'll be happy to consider and to address. Thank you again. And also, good to see my friend, my supervisor, Dr. Mohsin, yeah, from Saudi Arabia, because we used to be together in campus under the same research. Thank you, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Big applause to Associate Professor Sony Zulhuda. And then thank you very much, sir. Maybe a little bit conclusion that I have been given for today is the actor of datafication who can produce, collect, or analyze data for various purposes is corporation, state actors, government, civic actors, social media user, journalists, hackers, researchers, and terrorists. And then civic actor, and there are social quantifier, software, hardware, data broker, platform, data analytic, and spammer. And then the fifth is any dangerous combination between them. So we must be very careful about cyber. Yeah. And then I want to remind the participant in our international conference that for the first you have to fulfill the absent. Untuk seluruh peserta yang ada di seminar kita di pagi hari ini menjelang siang, kami mohonkan untuk jangan lupa mengabsen. And then the second is we have been shared the materials of our 3 best speaker for today. Kita juga sudah membagikan materi-materi dari narasumber kita, 3 narasumber kita sudah kita bagikan ke via Zoom. And then the third that we have the virtual background. You can use the virtual background, especially for the participate for our lunch today. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more best speaker for today. There is Dr. Mohsin Dali from Prince Sultan University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Maybe there is at the morning out there, sir. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Sumpah Pemuda School of Law, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, this is the curriculum vitae from Dr. Mohsin Dali. His career objective is to have a niche in the field of personal data protection and privacy law, cyber law, fintech, RegTech, and contribute to foster in this field through research and training. And then for 2011, Bachelor of Laws, Esa University, Bangladesh. 2012, Master of Laws, Asa University, Bangladesh, and then 2021, Doctor of Philosophy of Law, International Islamic University of Malaysia. His personal skill, communication, teamwork, problem solving, planning and organizing, critical thinking, time management, self-management, learning, and technology. And for today, in international conference, the topic for him is global perspective of AI regulation. This time is for you, sir. Maybe not more than 15 minutes. You have to share your slide share first.
Okay, I will be sharing the slide. Can you see my slide?
Yes, we can see your slide share, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. I am really happy and honored to be here as a speaker. I also extend my gratitude to the Sepúlveda College of Law and Dr. Soni to giving me the opportunity to speak on this conference. So today my topics is one of the buzzing topics around the world is regarding the regulation of artificial intelligence. So let me check whether you can hear me clearly. Is my mic is okay? Can you hear me? So should I start?
Yes, sir. You can start for today. Maybe you can make a little bit louder, sir, your voice.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Just only a little bit louder, sir.
Okay, okay. Now it's okay?
Siap. Okay, sir.
So I'm going to start with the definition and the terms. Here you see the big definition. I'm not going to explain all of it. You know the you heard about the artificial intelligence is one of the most top topics nowadays around the world. So the term artificial intelligence is coined by one called John McCarthy in 1956, and he explained it is a science and engineering of making intelligence machine or intelligence computer program. So it is a very general and functional definition which we can call, but nowadays for layman's term we can define artificial intelligence is a machine who can think like a human, work like a woman, who can work like a human, and who can learn and adopt the any environment you give it to them. So for legal perspective, it's a very functional definition. Is as you can see, is artificial intelligence can be divided into many categories. Is machine learning, deep learning, but artificial intelligence is our umbrella term. Umbrella term is under it we can define it as a machine learning who can perform like a human, and the deep learning is also a branch of artificial intelligence. It's not a single piece of software or hardware, rather a constellation of technologies that give a computer system ability to solve problems, to perform tasks that would otherwise require human intelligence. So there is a controversy regarding the definition, because all the definitions given by the scholars from the scholars and other institutions from the engineering perspective, until now we don't have any comprehensive definition from the legal perspective. So it's still is still not clear how can we define artificial intelligence from the legal perspective. The various definition of AI used in the literature may be helpful to understand AI, but is not unsuitable for the legal perspective. So maybe we can see a comprehensive definition in future from the legal perspective. Then we can move, how can we use AI in our daily life? You see, we can use, actually we intentionally or unintentionally using the artificial intelligence every day for our online shopping, because when we shop online, you can, they will personalize our online behavior and recommend what product we want. Then the web search is a common. We every day we web search, and the Google and Microsoft, they are using artificial intelligence to provide us as our desired result. The digital personalized tool is means the Google Assistants, Siri. This software are using the artificial intelligence every day. Then the machine translation. We nowadays we are using machine translation to translate language and other other options. This also applies to functions such as automated subtitling. Then the smart home, cities, and infrastructure. So we are hearing about the smart cities. So these smart cities are actually built based on the artificial intelligence, because smart thermometer learned our behavior to save energy. And then the smart traffic light to improve connectivity and reduce traffic jam. Then we are using cars. We heard about the EVs, electronic vehicles, which are using the artificial intelligence to navigate and to maintain our speed during driving. Cybersecurity is also using artificial intelligence to fight cyber attack and cyber threat. Artificial in also COVID-19, around the world, government were using artificial intelligence to combat the COVID-19, or for thermal imaging in the airport or elsewhere, to devise any new machine. It helped recognize infection from computerized lung scan. Fighting disinformation. We know nowadays there are lots of disinformation is spreading around the web. So now companies are using artificial intelligence to scan those information and remove the sensitive information from the website. So our next slide is for evolution of analytics. It's actually evolution of analytics is a part of the artificial intelligence. We have three kind of from the chart we can see how it's developed. Initially it was descriptive, means what happened in the future, employed heavily across all the industries. It was using by the industry for many years. Then it will move to the predictive analytics, or we can call predictive AI, anticipate what will happen in the future based on your present situation, or based on your present input of data. And then we can see the prescriptive, provide recommendation on what to do, achieve goal, or employed heavily by the leading data and internet companies. Predictive and prescriptive analytics actually is a part of machine learning method. And we if you notice, we can see that every day around the world, now we are using these analytics for many purposes, for employment, for retail, supply chain analytics, store management, sales force sizing, optimizing price and promotion modeling, in medical technology, fraud analytics. There are so many application of analytics or AI in the industry. Then we can talk about the classification of artificial intelligence. There are mainly three types of AI nowadays. We call narrow narrow AI, intelligence, artificial super intelligence. Narrow AI is specifically specific task. Specific task for one task maybe, as we mentioned before, the Siri, Alexa, they are actually regarded as a narrow AI because of its performance. It sometimes is called weak AI. Then the general AI. General AI is considered as a machine which can think like a human and which can perform tasks like a human. Now we can see the development recently we can see the development of general AI, but it is still developing. It will, I think, develop much broader area in the future. And the artificial super intelligence, actually it's scientists are thinking there will be a time when a machine can do everything. It can handle every situation. We don't need the human assistance. In that sense, we can use the artificial super intelligence, but we still lawmakers and scholars around the world still think that we cannot entirely depend on the AI. We have to rely on the human check whether machine is performing and according to our law and other things. Then the next slide is based on what is the object of regulating AI, because this AI nowadays government and other private institution and the technology company, they are using it so randomly to take decision that can have a significant impact on our life in many ways, because it's a machine, not a human. It has no conscience to think that what is wrong, and it has no moral. That's why we need to regulate this technology. So what are the objective of AI, regulating AI? Now we have to consider that every technology or devising or inventing every technology, it should be based on its quality and capability to ensure human security, provide the security and improve our life. In that case, the policymakers should think about should consider and understand this technology should be for betterment for human, and they will need to understand that we need to build a trust between machine and human to regulate it. And then the third of society's adoption to this technology should that legal and regulatory approach should help society to adoption of this new technology and furthering of this new technology, and as well as to protect human rights and other rights which he is entitled to be protected. Then there are from this perspective, we can say there should be three objectives to regulate AI: mitigating risks, the risks presented by the AI should be mitigated by the regulation. That means the potential social bias and other thing. And then the furthering of technology. The regulation should not be a device in such way it will stagnate the development of the technologies, because we nowadays we need the technology, and the regulation should be the enabling, should enable the technology to scale and escalate. And then the rebalancing power relation. Rebalancing power regulation means that we need to in the society we have a higher power and lower power. Then a person in higher position always try to influence the person who is in lower position. So, for example, if you are employer, if you are using AI, so regulators should keep in mind that if you are using AI for employing a employee or assessing the CV of an employee, they should consider the basic human rights while assessing this qualification or CVs, because nowadays most of the big companies are using AI to assessing the employee's CV to see whether he is qualified for the position or not. So we should balance the power relation while developing AI regulation. There are lots of policy challenges to regulate the AI. As you can see, is that we should consider lots of things while developing a regulation. We should consider the global governance, race condition, international cooperation, economic impact, labor shift, inequality, and technological unemployment, surveillance, privacy, civil liberty, accountability and transparency, explainability, fairness, ethics, human rights, political manipulation, and there are so many things. So we should consider before devising a regulation. As you can see, most of the jurisdictions are racing behind to regulate AI. So they are adopting different policies, different initiatives to regulate it. It is a picture from a private organization who surveyed 50 national artificial intelligence policies, and they concluded that most of the countries are now thinking to adopt one policy or one law to regulate the AI. The next slide is also related to the national AI policies. It is from the OECD. they surveyed around the world and find that over 800 AI policy initiatives from 69 countries. And as you can see, from European Union is 60 initiative, US 69 initiatives, Canada 13 initiatives, Australia 33 initiatives, China 22 initiatives, and so on. There are other countries, as you can see from the slide, is from 800, around 800 policy initiatives from 69 countries. So the countries around the world are really concerned about regulating the AI and the its impact on our life. So now we can see there are lots of initiatives taken by international organization. I will mention some of it. First one is the UNESCO. UNESCO in 2021 they adopted the ethics on artificial intelligence. Ethics on artificial intelligence, and you can see the OECD also adopted AI principles. They also have a dedicated AI website, which they are reviewing all the national policies, all the initiatives. And then the International Organization for Standardization also provides a recommendation on ethics of AI, and also the United Nations. They also adopted some principles on ethics, and they are actually the purpose of United Nations document is to protect human rights and the human dignity. So so the United Nations is one organization who have influence all over the world, though their document has no legal force in terms of the AI, but it can be starting point, or it can government can consider this document to introduce new AI legislation. Then convention on certain conventional weapon. So a group of experts from different governmental experts, they get together and they were talking about the autonomous weapon system. As you know, that as you can see that between Russia and Ukraine, where they are using the drone, this actually autonomous weapon system is embedded with AI. So the countries are really concerned about using these weapons. Therefore, government are thinking about using thinking about that, how can we control and limit using of this AI embedded weapon system, because it's really dangerous and it can cause severe destruction to any country. Even though around 66 states wants to adopt this new document or new convention, but most of the powerful countries, they are actually unwilling to give consent to this document. They are still considering adopting it. Then we can see United Nations Inter-Regional Crime and Justice Research Institution also adopted a document. They have adopted a strategic plan for 5 years 5 years uh, to to develop the legally binding framework on autonomous, covering strategic plan for establishing or overseeing AI development and adopt any relevant document to control the bad impact of AI in our society. Then World Economic Forum has also adopted the AI ethics and principles. So there are many international organizations who are working on ethics, who are working on developing AI document regarding the implementation of ethical AI or trustworthy AI. So they are also pursuing the government to adopt new legislation which can be helpful to control AI and which can be helpful to protect human rights and human dignity while implementing AI system in their country. So I'm going to actually I'm going to discuss two jurisdictions, United Nations and European Union. So these two jurisdictions actually are forefront of regulating AI. They have adopted a lot of initiative for regulating it, and they are actually they have the influence over other countries is sometimes follow what they have adopted and try to follow their path. You can see the United States is also adopted so many initiatives to control the AI and to minimize the impact of AI. Is a weak country. They don't have any comprehensive AI law. There are different state and different organization adopted different document to reduce the impact of AI. As you can see, U.S. Congress enacted National AI Initiative Act. So under this act, all the administrative agencies, including the Federal Trade Commission, Department of Defense, Department of Agriculture, Department of Education, and Department of Health and Human Service, they are under obligation to implement this act. Then recently they introduced a new bill which called Algorithmic Accountability Act. So it is still pending. It is still pending before their parliament, and you can see in 2021, Federal Trade Commission issued a memo which actually talked about unfair and deceptive practice of AI. So the Federal Trade Commission will be overseeing the deceptive practice and unfair practice of AI of different organizations. They are also taking complaints and acting upon it. Then the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, who actually want companies to limit the use of algorithmic decision-making tool to assess job applicant.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, excuse me. You still have 5 minutes more, sir.
Okay. Job application and employees could violate the American with Disabilities Acts. For example, recently one organization is trying to employ more women, but they are actually using the AI system, and their AI system is trained on on actually the training data based on the on the male candidate. That's why whenever they are trying to use the system, they actually ended up appointing male employees. Then you can see White House Office of Science and Technology Policy solicited engagement from different stakeholders across industry in an effort to develop a bill of rights for an automated society. Additionally, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, which falls under the U.S. Department of Commerce, is engaging with stakeholders to develop a voluntary risk management framework for trustworthy AI system. So you can see there are lots of initiatives taken by US to control to regulate the artificial intelligence. Then the initiative taken by the European Union. So they actually propose a new AI Act, which is called EU Artificial Intelligence Act. It will come into force, I think, next year, and an organization will have a transition period to adopt it till 2024. As you can see from the slide, they actually categorize AI into different sector. First one is different level, unacceptable risks, high risks, limited risks, and minimal risks. So if AI is posing unacceptable risks, then it's prohibited to use. For example, for social scoring, mass surveillance, manipulation of human behavior causing harm. In respect of AI posing high risks, then you have to provide the conformity assessment that it will not pose that kind of risks before introducing or before using that system. And then come to the limited risks. It has less obligation for organization. They has to show that organization have to show that they are using artificial intelligence which have limited risks and which will not have any negative impact on social life. You can see the personalization, chatbot, emotion recognition, biometric categorization, defect. These are all fall under the level of limited risks. Then the remaining means for AI with specific tasks. Is considered as posing limited minimal risks, and it's a very broad legislation, and you can see how they can if it's posing high risk, how can they assess the risks, and how can they confirm, the organization can confirm then it will not pose the high risk while using the AI. It will not have any negative impact. They have to go through a process, assessment process, and after passing the assessment process, they can only introduce the AI into the market. Under this act, it actually imposes lots of pecuniary damages. As you can see, non-compliance can incur fine up to 30 million euros or 6% of worldwide annual turnover, whichever is higher. And providing inaccurate, incomplete, or misleading information to the regulatory body can incur fines up to 10 million or 2% of turnover. It is actually higher than what GDPR imposed. Then apart from this act, they are considering to introduce AI liability directive and the EU machinery directive. So the European is always come up with a comprehensive act, and as like general data protection regulation, they want to influence all over the world. They want other countries to follow their footsteps. So it comes to the conclusion that we need to design a framework for AI, which will be based on democracy, security, and privacy, and for a specific field of law, intellectual property, competition law, and liability. And regulatory need to focus on the technological, socio-economic, and political condition of a particular country while considering legislative view. Apart from that, national, regional, and international law and regulation are equally important, considering the cross-border nature of the AI. We need a concerted effort to develop the AI, because the AI it has no border. It can have impact outside the jurisdiction, outside our border also. That's why we need the concerted effort among us to develop a comprehensive and effective AI law. So while considering the AI regulation, we can consider few principles. Here I have mentioned 8 principles, which actually developed by one of the researchers from the Harvard University. They actually assess around 36 national AI principles developed by different countries, and come up with these 8 principles, which they think will be best to consider while developing AI regulation. That is privacy, accountability, safety and security, transparency, explainability, fairness and non-discrimination, human control of technology, professional responsibility, promotion of human values.
Excuse me, sir. I'm so sorry. There is 1 minute more.
Yes,
1 minute more, sir.
Yes, I'm going to in now. As you can see that the document, the map of ethics and right-based approach to principle for AI, it is developed by the Harvard University, one of the researchers from Harvard University. They actually assess different documents which talks about the ethics and principle, and come up with these 8 principles. And they think that it will be helpful for the government or organization or lawmaker to develop their national AI policies or AI Act. So therefore, it's actually as we can see, it can pose artificial intelligence can pose very negative human impact in our lives. And therefore, different countries now considering to develop a law, but it's not difficult to develop a comprehensive law, because emerging technology always changes, and regulatory initiative is always lagging behind, because for introducing legislation it requires time. So what we can expect that we should develop a sustainable and enabling act which can adopt the speed with the technology. Thank you very much. That's all for me. And
Okay, sir, thank you very much for Mr. Dr. Muhsin Dali, Prince Sultan University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Big applause for him. Maybe there is a little bit conclusion about his topic, artificial intelligence in daily life, everyday and potential use. So a few example of how we already use artificial intelligence and the possibility is of course. The first is online shopping and advertising, web search, digital personal assistants, machine translation, smart home, cities, infrastructure, cars, cyber security, artificial intelligence against COVID-19 and fighting disinformation. And then 3 types of artificial intelligence. There is artificial narrow intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and artificial super intelligence. And then find 80 key terms of artificial intelligence principle. Privacy, accountability, safety and security, transparency and explainability, fairness and non-discrimination, human control of technology, and then professional responsibility, and the last one is promotion of human values. Big applause for 3 guest speaker for today. Dan terima kasih bagi semua narasumber hari ini dan seluruh partisipan yang masih ada di Zoom meeting kita. Selesai sudah 3 narasumber yang sudah menyampaikan materinya, yaitu Associate Profesor Dr. Haji Firman Friadi Busro, SHM HUB CTL. Beliau adalah Dean of Sumpah Pemuda School of Law. And then the second is Associate Profesor Sony Zulhuda LLB Hans MCL PhD. Beliau berasal dari University Islamic International University of Malaysia. And then the last one is Dr. Muhsin Dali, Prince Sultan University, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Inti daripada International Conference on Legal Study hari ini adalah bahwa kita betul-betul harus menyimpan data pribadi kita, karena jikalau kita menyebarkan data pribadi melalui teknologi, itu bahkan akan membawa kita ke dalam sebuah kesulitan. Big applause sekali lagi buat 3 narasumber kita hari ini. Sebelum kita mengakhiri seminar internasional kita dengan 3 pembicara yang sangat hebat kita kali ini, mungkin kita akan berfoto bersama dulu ya Pak ya. Kami persilahkan kepada Prof. Sony, Associate Profesor Sony Zulhuda dan Dr. Muhsin Dali untuk mengaktifkan dulu kameranya, karena kita akan berfoto bersama seluruh peserta kita di pagi hari ini. Kami mohonkan untuk seluruh peserta dan partisipan mengaktifkan kameranya. Pak Tobi, ya, aktif ya. Ya, Pak Sugeng bisa diaktifkan kameranya Pak. Seminar internasional kita di pagi hari ini juga sangat didukung oleh Goodwood. Di mana hari ini sudah ada perwakilan dari Goodwood, yaitu Pak Sugeng Riyadi. Kemudian kita juga didukung oleh beberapa universitas yang ada di Sumatera Selatan sebagai co-host kita. Kalau kita lihat di sana ada Universitas Muhammadiyah Metro Lampung, Universitas Taman Siswa Palembang, Universitas Palembang, Universitas Rahmania Sekayu. Terima kasih buat semuanya. Pak Muhsin Dali, maybe you can on your camera, sir. Dr. Muhsin Dali, excuse me, maybe you can on the camera first because we will get a picture for today. Prof. Sony, yeah, thank you, sir. Prof. Sony. Prof. Sony. You still there? Sebentar ya, mohon izin dulu yang lain-lain. Kita coba. Pak Dede, Pak Tobi. Iya. Di tengah-tengah kita sudah ada 3 pembicara kita di pagi hari ini. Ada Bapak Associate Profesor Dr. Haji Firman Friadi Busro, ada Bapak Associate Profesor Dr. Zoni Zulhuda dan Dr. Musin Dali. Kita akan berfoto bersama dengan seluruh peserta kita di pagi hari ini. 1, 2, 3. Iya, keep smile for everyone. Once more, keep smile for everyone. Ada 4 layar itu Pak Tobi, semuanya sudah masuk? Belum? Baru layar 1 ya Bapak dan Ibu, mohon bersabar sejenak. Baru layar 1. Kita masuk ke layar 2. Mohon diaktifkan kameranya di layar 2 kepada seluruh peserta dan partisipan hari ini. Iya.
Kecak.
1, 2, 3.
Iya. Kita masuk ke layar 3. Mohon diaktifkan kameranya yang ada di layar 3. Last one, kamera atau layar keempat. Mohon diaktifkan kameranya Bapak dan Ibu.
1, 2, 3.
Baik, terima kasih kepada seluruh partisipan kita di pagi hari ini pada seminar internasional. Kami harapkan nantinya kembali bergabung bersama kami pada pukul 13 waktu Indonesia Barat. Dan terima kasih yang sebesar-besarnya kami ucapkan kepada 2 narasumber yang berasal dari luar Indonesia, dari Universitas Internasional Malaysia, yaitu Associate Profesor Dr. Zoni Zulhuda dan Bapak Dr. Musin Dali yang berasal dari Prince Sultan University Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Dan juga terima kasih sebanyak-banyaknya kepada Ketua Stihbada yang sudah sangat mengapresiasikan acara kita di pagi hari ini, Bapak Associate Profesor Dr. Haji Firman Friadi Busro, SHM Hum CTL. Dan mari kita semua memberikan aplaus untuk diri kita sendiri. Semangat semuanya, semoga hari ini adalah membawa banyak keberkahan dan juga membawa satu ilmu yang sangat bermanfaat yang sudah diberikan oleh 3 narasumber terbaik kita di pagi hari ini. Jangan lupa untuk kembali bergabung bersama kami pukul 13 waktu Indonesia Barat, karena kita akan memulai presentasi 65 peserta di seminar internasional kita pagi ini. Terima kasih. Marilah kita sama-sama menutup acara opening ceremony kita, international conference kita dengan 3 narasumber terbaik dengan melafazkan hamdalah. Alhamdulillah Hirobbil Alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kami persilakan istirahat kepada seluruh partisipan dan kembali bergabung nanti di jam 1 siang 13 waktu Indonesia Barat And then thank you very much for two best speaker from out there. There is Mr. Sony Zulhuda dan Dr. Muhsin Dali. Big thanks for you, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Recording stopped.